So I'm just getting this thing ready to put the outdrive back on the boat, and I just have taped off these splines so that I don't cut these O-rings when I take them off. And I'm just going to use this pick tool just to pull those off. I'm trying to keep them intact because I'm looking at these ones that I ordered and they look a lot thinner than those, but maybe they're just compressed. So we'll see. Anyways, we'll take it off and check it out. So there's the new input shaft O-rings and the old ones on the left. There's the part number there for anybody who's interested, and it was from Marine Parts that I ordered these on eBay. I think they're the same. It's just these old ones are looking a little worse for wear, a few flat spots on them, so not a good idea to reuse these, I think. I'm glad I waited for these new ones to come. Just looking at the thickness, the old ring looks a little thicker than the new one, and when I've got it in position, seems to be a bit of too much space there, but I don't know. I guess it'll do the trick. Not exactly the same as the ones that came off, but pretty darn close. I think that the taping the splines is a bit overkill. The O-ring diameter is larger than these splines, so just be careful putting it over them so you don't cut them. There's the two new ones in place, and then the idea is to put motor oil on this, not grease. Just give it a good motor oiling, and then it'll be ready to attempt to put in. And I'm just cleaning this area here. And from what I've read, just a bit of grease on that, and then it pushes into the bellows and seals it up. But I will double check, see what a couple other guys have to say. I don't know if guys are putting cement on those or sealant of some kind, but I think the general consensus is to go dry or put a bit of grease on it. Yeah, so you want to put a layer of marine grease on this surface and on the bellows as well. That little lip inside the bellows where it meets up. And I guess it's just the force of the metal pushing in rubber and the seal of the grease makes an adequate seal. I always wonder why they made this like this, but I guess it's for access to the tool. But it's not a huge surface to rub up against the rubber, but obviously it works. The other thing on this surface here, that's where the O-ring matches up on the other surface. And what I'll be doing is cementing the O-ring in for that one on the transom side. And then I think the idea is that once that's in place, then you just coat it with a little bit of motor oil, and then you put this surface against it, and it should hopefully seal up. That's where the water intake. So there it is there. It's all cleaned out, and I'm just going to put the O-ring in there with a bit of cement. Little contact cement, basically that bellows adhesive. Hold it in place. And I've just put this the hub back on here. That way, when I turn this, I can get some movement in the splines, depending on which I get it in reverse or forward. But get some movement when I'm adjusting it and putting it in to get the splines to line up with the coupler. This tool, confirming that the alignment is good, turns freely, no binding at all. Don't think I really needed it, but it's good to know. So we are ready for installation. The input shaft's got engine oil on those O-rings, and I've greased the exterior of all the gimbal, or sorry, the universal joint, and I put a coating of grease all over this and here. And I've coated the mating surface right here on the universal or gimbal bellows there. And then I'm just going to put a little bit of grease on the base of these studs, the O-rings glued in place, and a little coat of oil on the one side. So hopefully it'll go good. I'm going to get a beast of a friend to come over and help me because I've got a bit of a strange incline here. I don't think I'm going to be able to do this just with the hoist. So we'll probably just have to muscle it in, use the hoist just to get it to the transom and then turn it over. And then hopefully it slides in. It's alignment and everything's perfect, so it should go in. I'm not going to I'm not going to record this part of it because I've only got the cell phone in my hands here, but I'll fill you in once I've got it done. Actually went okay. And I just put this little bar across to support the pivot housing. Twisted the prop shaft a little bit to get the splines to engage with the coupler, and just exerted a constant force with both of us lifting, and then suddenly it just went right in perfectly all the way to that point. Didn't have to fight it at all. So now I'm just going to torque them down 25 and then 50 in a crisscross pattern, and start putting the linkage back in. Don't forget though to put that the shift cable through the hole. Otherwise you'll be cursing yourself. All right. Because I got a new shift cable on here, I have to readjust these, and this cable is a little bit longer than the previous one, so I'm going all the way up on the threads here. But you just shift it into neutral, this is in, I think, reverse right now, but just put it in neutral at the control box and here, and then you just adjust the threads accordingly. And then I'm just checking it here. No, I won't be able to do it. Maybe I can push it here. There we go. So that snapped into neutral now. That's a neutral position. So I'm pretty happy with that. And I tried it with forward, reverse, and it's shifting. So that's what you got to do. And then I'm going to put another nut on here just to give it a little bit of extra support there, tighten it up so it doesn't move around. And that should be the adjustment done. So the distance on these cables is just a little bit longer, so I'm kind of right at the max adjustment on it. So I got the the nut on here. I put a double nut on the back one, and then I just touched the threads with that Teflon tape, that liquid electrical tape, just so the nut doesn't fall off, because normally you'd put the nut on the other side and tighten into that brass fitting, but don't have room to do that here. So that was what I opted to do. I'll still be able to get the nut off if I ever have to, but it won't fall off, vibrate off from use with the boat. So now I'm going to put it back together again, put the shift box all back together, and I'll record it just so we can see how it goes together or comes apart. getting this control box mounted was a lot harder than getting it off. Fishing for these screw holes was difficult, but anyways, finally got it. And then this, you just have to make sure the wires are routed correctly so that you don't bind on them. And then that's the way this thing dropped it, of course. That one goes down the center, and then that one goes in place, and then the cover goes on. This one stupid thing I did is I left the rams down. Make sure your rams are up when you put the outdrive back on, which meant that I had to take the front bolts or front nuts off the rams and pull them all the way out so that I could get it past the cavitation plate. So now I'm going to put this, now that I get the rams hooked up, I'm going to torque down the starboard side on the pivot housing to 105 to 120 foot-pounds. And then I'm going to put the trim indicator, this guy, back in once I've got it all torqued down. So getting there. The last thing is just to paint this leg. So it's all been sanded down, masked off, and to give it a quick coat of two-part epoxy. Hopefully that stands up.